you're tuning into something different, something deeper. Welcome to a space where the unseen becomes seen, where the patterns beneath reality are decoded. This isn't just a podcast, it's a journey into the mechanics of belief, perception, and the multidimensional truths shaping our world. If you've ever felt like an outsider looking in, questioning the systems you're told to follow, you're in the right place. This is The Outcast, the Pattern Podcast. Let's dive in.
Ever feel like you're just constantly swimming against the tide?
Yeah.
You know, your work life, just the sheer amount of stuff coming at you. It feels like a fight sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's overwhelming.
But what if winning wasn't about pushing back harder on everything out there, but about building this really solid core inside, like an inner fortress?
That's exactly the territory we're getting into today. It's a shift in perspective, really.
We often look outside, right?
Yeah.
Try to manage the external chaos.
Instinctively, yeah. But the material we've got, especially this document, Art of War, and the inner field of Stoicism, it really hammers home this idea that real strength, genuine command, it starts inside, with mastering your inner world.
Okay, so Sun Tzu's Art of War, that's like military tactics. And then Stoicism, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, that's philosophy, resilience. Seems worlds apart.
On the surface, maybe, but this source makes a compelling case that deep down they're pointing to the same thing, a unified way to build inner power.
So developing a disciplined mind, a resilient spirit. The document even talks about transforming inner conflicts into clarity. That sounds powerful.
It really is. So our mission for this deep dive is basically to pull out the key insights here. You know, how do we actually build that inner resilience? How do we navigate this battleground of the self? Protecting that inner space is key.
Right, protecting the inner field. Let's start there. The first big idea is literally called the field is within, metaphysical battleground of the self. That kind of sets the stage, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It immediately says, look inward. Forget the external skirmishes for a moment. The real action, the stuff that matters, happens inside.
And it hits you with these quotes, Sun Tzu. Know yourself and you will win all battles, boom.
And then the Stoic side. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength.
It's fascinating how they mesh. It's not just about like knowing your likes and dislikes.
No, it's deeper. It's understanding your perceptions, how you react emotionally, the thoughts constantly running through your head. That's the arena. That's where you gain or lose ground. And protecting that inner field, keeping it clear and strong, that's job number one.
Okay, the source calls the self a microcosmic battlefield. What are we actually fighting in there? What are the internal enemies?
Well, think about the ego, always needing to be right, or getting anxious, or just raw impulse, reacting without thinking. Fear, definitely fear.
Yeah, fear can be paralyzing.
Exactly. When those things run wild, the text talks about entropy, internal chaos, basically. It weakens you. So the strategy is about discipline, managing those impulses, understanding those fears. That's how you master the external stuff. It's about securing that inner territory first.
Okay, got it. So if the battle's inside, how do we fight smart? The next idea is strategic non-attachment.
Sounds a bit passive, like checking out.
Yeah, it sounds like it, but it's not about apathy. Not at all. It's presented as a strategic tool. Think conservation of energy. It links Sun Tzu saying, avoid what is strong, attack what is weak, with the Stoic idea that fundamentally, it's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things.
So it's about choosing your battles, not getting sucked into every drama, especially if it's just your own reaction fueling it.
Precisely. It's strategic non-reactivity, pulling your energy back from things you can't control or things that just drain you. Redirecting it.
Like plugging leaks in your energy reserves.
That's a great way to put it. The source calls reacting impulsively energy leakage. Detachment, on the other hand, builds energetic coherence, like focusing a beam of light instead of scattering it.
So acting with intention, not just impulse. That makes sense for protecting your inner resources.
Exactly. It's a core defense mechanism for that inner field. You decide where your energy goes.
Okay, that flows nicely into the next point. Perception is power. This feels super relevant today, with just information overload everywhere.
Oh, absolutely. How you see things literally creates your reality, according to this view. It puts Sun Tzu's all warfare is based on deception, side by side with the Stoic point. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it.
So basically, be aware that how you see things can be messed with by others or even by your own biases.
Right. Mastering your perception is critical. If you're unaware, you're easily controlled by illusions, by narratives. But if you can cultivate clarity, see things objectively, that's real power.
It's like inner clarity gives you a shield against external manipulation.
Exactly. The Source uses this amazing phrase, commanding the mind allows the transmutation of perception into clarity, like turning lead into gold, but mentally. Refining chaos into order, into logos, that protects your inner understanding.
Wow, okay, and this theme of inner control keeps going with energy discipline and strategic use of will. Self-mastery again.
Yes, and it links it directly to freedom. That Stoic quote is powerful. No man is free who is not master of himself.
And Sun Tzu backs that up with, conserve your strength until the decisive moment.
See the pattern. It's not about constant effort or raw force. It's about disciplined, intentional use of your inner resources, your will, your energy.
Acting without thinking, just spending that energy wildly, is actually weak.
That's the idea. True mastery involves restraint. Power is refined will. Impulse without wisdom is detrimental. The reflection calls energy a sacred currency. Don't waste it on trivial stuff, on drama. Direct it with purpose. That's how you protect that inner reserve.
Okay, sacred currency. I like that. How does preparation fit in? The next section is preparation as sacred alignment. It sounds like more than just making a to-do list.
Much more. It frames preparation as aligning yourself internally first. It connects Sun Tzu's victorious warriors win first and then go to war, meaning they prepare so well, victory is almost assured with the Stoic idea that challenges aren't just roadblocks. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way.
So it's internal readiness, being mentally and emotionally prepared, not just having the logistics sorted.
Precisely. It's about achieving inner alignment before you engage. When you're prepared internally, challenges become opportunities to learn, not just things to survive.
Like getting your inner house in order before dealing with the outside world.
You got it. The reflection says, in this sacred war of self-mastery, alignment precedes engagement. Align with your inner truth first. That grounding protects you when external pressures hit.
This feels like it's building towards something bigger, like an underlying order, which is exactly the next section. Logos, nature, and the divine order.
Yeah, this is where it gets a bit more cosmic, but still very practical. It looks at the shared idea of a fundamental order in the universe.
Well, so?
Well, it suggests Taoist principles are implied in art of war, flowing with the Tao, moving with nature's rhythms, and it connects that directly to the Stoic concept of logos, this universal reason, this divine intelligence that structures everything. The wisdom lies in aligning with it.
So, different paths, same destination. Recognizing there's a flow to things, and it's smarter to work with it than against it.
Exactly. Stop resisting. Start harmonizing. The universe isn't random. There are underlying principles. The wise general, the wise Stoic, they both try to understand and align with that flow.
It feels less like fighting, more like navigating skillfully.
Precisely. The reflection says aligning with this order lets you move without resistance. The path opens up when you stop struggling and start listening to the deeper pattern. That alignment itself is a form of protection.
Okay, now shifting gears a bit. The next topic is heavy. Death, fear, and impermanence. How does facing mortality help with inner mastery? Seems counterintuitive.
It does, but both traditions see it as a powerful focusing tool. Sun Tzu's advice to only engage when victory is certain implies a very clear-eyed look at risks, including the ultimate one.
Right, no illusions.
And the Stoics were famous for meditate on death. Not to be morbid, but to appreciate life and focus on what truly matters, because it is finite. It is the one fate that cannot be avoided.
So, realizing life is temporary cuts through the BS. Helps you see what fears are maybe not worth the energy.
You've nailed it. Fear often comes from illusion, from attachment to things that won't last anyway. Accepting impermanence, including our own, is incredibly empowering. It strips away trivial anxieties.
So it's liberating in a way.
Absolutely. The Source reframes death as a transition, not an end. Facing it builds fearlessness, which it calls spiritual maturity. That maturity protects your inner peace from the tyranny of fear.
This has all been building, hasn't it? It feels like it culminates in this final section. The true general is the soul.
It really does tie it all together. It argues that Sun Tzu's ideal general adaptable, understands the terrain, strategic is the same archetype as the Stoic sage commands emotions, lives by virtue. Both are masters of their inner and outer worlds. They embody sovereignty.
So the ultimate strategist and the ultimate wise person. They're one and the same, both achieved through mastering the inner self.
Exactly. The final reflection uses this great analogy. The soul is the general. The personality, our moods, desires, fears, that's the army. Order prevails when the soul leads, guided by wisdom and virtue, when the ego, the undisciplined parts of the personality, takes charge. That leads to chaos, to entropy. So the ultimate task is protecting the soul's leadership role, keeping that inner command structure clear and strong.
Wow. That's a powerful way to frame it. This whole deep dive really brings home how these ancient ideas point to the same core truth. Inner sovereignty is everything.
It really is. The final takeaway isn't about winning battles out there, but the constant work of mastering and protecting the self within.
So both Art of War and Stoicism, they're roadmaps to freedom through self-mastery. Victory means inner alignment. Peace comes from that strategic awareness.
Precisely. And like the source says, the battlefield is your inner cosmos. Protecting that is the real work.
So thinking about all this, what internal battles might you, listening right now, approach differently, maybe with a bit more strategy, a stronger commitment to protecting that inner field? Definitely something to chew on as you go about your day.